Okay, wanted to do a video real quick. One of the questions that I have that keep coming up over and over again. I did some videos on this a long time ago. I figured I would do some pictures of Frigate Bay, and I wanted to talk to you about the differences if you're thinking about moving to the Federation and you're looking at maybe either moving to St. Kitts or NEVIS, and what you need to be looking at, because this comes up a lot, and this is something I looked at too when I first came here. And you really need to know this, because once you buy, if you buy a property, you're going to find this out anyway when you come down here. So I'm going to go through the differences with you, and then you can more or less get your own opinion on how to choose the right one, the right place when you're making decisions on this. Also, folks, if you want to legally get around high income taxes, or how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do three things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You'll get new videos automatically as they come out. Number two is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below, and go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Okay, let's go through some of these details and how this works, and how you can make a logical decision where you're not going to look back and kind of regretted this later. And that is, first of all, when you come to St. Kitts, you're going to find out the population difference. St. Kitts has got around 40,000 people that are, resident citizens that live here all the time, periodically go off the island. And then you've got 10,000 in NEVIS. But one of the things that you need to look for when you're making decisions on this is I would be looking at, because you're going to run across this a lot, is when you're looking for properties, you're going to have to look at what's the accessibility of you getting someone that is a building contractor to choose from to building your property. If you're thinking about building something. And not just that, what's the accessibility of electricians, plumbers, people that do hurricane shutters, alarm companies. These are some things that you're going to think about when you get here. What you're going to find out is on the island, there is a shortage of what I call dependable help, okay? You're going to get it 4 times lower in NEVIS, quite obviously, because you got a 4 times difference in the population level. Again, St. Kitts has got 40,000, NEVIS has got 10,000. So this is something you're going to have to think about, because if you get 2 contractors that don't show up and you don't have one left, you're going to be pretty exasperated. And this is, you're going to run in this even in St. Kitts, but NEVIS is even worse, okay? So I've had situations where what I do is just make a list of people over a period of time that are dependable people that you can rely on getting things done, and stick with those people. But again, like I said, you're going to have 4 times more people in St. Kitts than you do in NEVIS, and this is something you really are going to have to look at. Another thing too is most people don't realize is everything comes through here in St. Kitts when shipping is coming through customs, and then what happens is you have everything that's going over in NEVIS. It takes another ride over there, which there's a cost factor in that. And the shipping that goes from St. Kitts to NEVIS, that's added to the cost on everything. What you're going to find out, and I've noticed this myself, is things are more expensive in NEVIS than St. Kitts. And this is one of the reasons you're going to have that, okay? So you're going to have extra costs that are tagged in because of this extra shipping cost that has to go back over to NEVIS. So this is another thing that you're going to have to think about. Another thing too is when you're reselling your property, hardly anybody thinks about this, but in St. Kitts, you're going to have about 4 times more realtors trying to sell your property than you do in NEVIS, okay? That's going to have a big impact. Let me tell you why. There is no multiple listing service in St. Kitts or NEVIS, and a lot of countries in the world don't have it. I think a lot of people in the U.S. have been used to multiple listing service. That means if you have one realtor that lists your property, like in North Carolina where I grew up, you might have 4,500 agents that will see a listing for your property. You don't have that here, okay? The way it works, typically the guy that lists your property sells it That's the difference, okay? Now, you can do this. You can create your own multiple listing service by just taking every person and setting up a contract with them. It's time consuming, okay? But you've created your multiple listing service. But this is the key right here. St. Kitts is going to have 4 times more people that you can list your house for versus NEVIS. Now, you might say, well, can't the guy from NEVIS list your house in St. Kitts? Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, very few of them will come over here. And when they say they will, they really won't. Okay, you got to remember, to come over to St. Kitts is about a round trip ticket's about 20 US bucks. I think I've seen more than that now, to go over there and come back. Okay, not including you're going to have to hire a taxi to take you around. Okay, so you're looking at these are fees that you're not thinking about now, that you're going to think about later. And when you're reselling your house, you're going to have less people also not just listing your house, but coming to see your house to buy it. Why? Because most people are coming to St. Kitts, not NEVIS, okay? And that's one reason there's 4 times more people. And see, the things I'm telling you, some people have already done their homework, and they've seen these things that I'm telling you right now. That's why they choose St. Kitts over NEVIS. So when you resell your house, you're going to have more people not only to buy your house, but also more people to sell your property, okay? So these are things that you really need to think about when you're looking at things here. And the prices to buy almost everything is going to be cheaper in St. Kitts, okay? I don't know of anything that's going to be cheaper in NEVIS than St. Kitts. But these are some things that I would be strongly advising you, to look for. Now, another thing too is if you're a big golfer, what you're going to find out is there's more golf courses in St. Kitts, and also the courses are a lot cheaper, okay, to play. I would say that Marriott's probably the cheapest golf course. I used to be a tennis pro growing up, and I thought one of the clubs I had one of the cheapest golf course fees of any place I'd ever been. But I think Marriott here beats it. It's one of the least expensive golf course, and I did a video actually on their fees, but they've got a really good deal on golf course fees. So if you're a big golfer, move to Frigate Bay because you're right in front of the golf course and the ocean. That's why I've always picked Frigate Bay as the best place to live if you're going to come to the Federation here. In fact, I think it's the best in the Caribbean. I've been all over the Caribbean, and I like it better than any place I'm in the Caribbean. But also another thing you need to think about too, that almost nobody thinks about, is flight cost. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. There are 2 ways that you can get in NEVIS coming in. But in every case, you're going to have to come through St. Kitts first. Now, they might have used to have direct flights to NEVIS first, but I don't ever see it, okay? If they do, I've never seen them, okay? Because every time I've been on a flight and it comes into St. Kitts, it comes to St. Kitts, and then you got to stay on for the extra flight to go to NEVIS, which means they tag on an extra cost on your flight every time you leave and come back, okay? So that's an extra cost. They used to do that. Now, most of the flights coming in that I've seen don't even do that anymore. They come in and most people take a ferry across. That's even a bigger hassle. Let me tell you why. It is a pretty trip going over St. Kitts, to NEVIS from St. Kitts on a ferry. But when you do that over and over again, and you're living down here, you get used to it, and it becomes more of a hassle because of the time period. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. You come in, you fly into St. Kitts, you're going to have to actually get a taxi to take you to the ferry, okay, that takes you from St. Kitts to NEVIS. The problem with this is you can't just come up and get your ticket. What you're going to have to do is you really should be at the place to get your ticket at the ferry there at least an hour before. Let me tell you why. If you come in and there's a long line and there's a special thing that's going on over in NEVIS, you could come in and actually end up having a real problem because the ferry could fill up. And it's very inconvenient sometimes to pick your ticket in advance, because if your flight's late, you can miss it, then you've lost your your cost on your ticket. And most people don't do that. They buy it as they get there. But if you're late and you don't, let's say that the ferry fills up, then you're stuck. And it could be several hours, or it might even be the next day, okay, before you can get another trip back over again. And this is the key. It takes you 45 minutes to go there, 45 minutes to come back. So you're looking at an hour and a half there. And then if you come an hour early each time to make sure you get that ticket, that's another 2 hours. So you're looking at 3.5 hours it's taking you to do that, plus the cost of the 2 different taxis, one from the airport to the ferry and the ferry back to your place where you're living in NEVIS. These are things that people don't think about, okay? Whereas if you just lived in St. Kitts, you just take the taxi right back to your house and you don't have to deal with the ferry part. Again, it's a pretty ferry ride going over there, but I'm telling you, after a while you get used to that. And it can be really a hassle and very time consuming, okay? And you're gonna have to add that ferry ride to your trip going over. And see, a lot of people who've been here years before they buy, they know this. And that's why they choose St. Kitts over NEVIS, because they've seen all the hassle and stuff that you have to deal with on that. And these are some things that you really have to think about. So the something else too that you need to take in mind is the if a lot of people come over to St. Kitts also because they have the bars over here, okay? The real nice bars on the ocean front. Now, this is the key. The ferry usually, the last trip goes over, I think it's around 5 or 6. They don't have usually late ferries going over, which means that can create a problem. If you're coming over from NEVIS to St. Kitts to go, you know, hopping around the bars and stuff, and you're going back, you're going to have to get more than likely a hotel, unless you know somebody over here you can stay with. So that's going to be a big cost factor every time you go out to party, because there's a lot more to do in St. Kitts than NEVIS. And because most people are not going to go back after, you know, 6 o'clock at night. They want to stay until 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever and party out here on the beach. So these are some extra things that you have to think about. And there's a lot of people that come over here to eat. There's a lot more places to eat in St. Kitts than NEVIS. And the restaurants are a lot cheaper too. There's no comparison in that. A couple of things that you need to know is if you have you know, if you're looking for things to shop around on to get prices, you've got so many more places to shop from, to get clothes, shoes, you know, things like appliances and stuff like this to choose from and to bargain with. And that can make a big, big difference, especially when they've got big sales and stuff going on here. And it's just it's a lot more convenient in keeping your costs down low if you know, that St. Kitts has so much more to offer and more competition on sales items and things like this. Also, if you're running a business, what you're going to find out, a lot of people from NEVIS come over to St. Kitts to work. You usually don't have it the other way around, okay? Most people that are living in NEVIS come over to St. Kitts to work. The problem is if you have a business in NEVIS and you're looking for good employees, remember you're choosing from a force of people of 10,000 people versus St. Kitts of 40,000. Where do you think you're going to have more people to choose from for your business? Okay, if you want good employees for your company, then you're going to have a lot more to choose from when you got 40,000 people than 10,000. And this is something else that people don't think about. What you're going to find out too, more of the citizenship properties, if you're reselling your property for citizenship, you got more people coming over here and buying for citizenship than NEVIS. So this is another thing that people don't think about. And for the reasons I've just gone over with you. But if you want good quality employees, most of them are not going to, if you're living in NEVIS and you got your business there and you're trying to get them to come over by boat, it's very difficult to find people that will do that because of the time, and then you would have to pay for the extra cost to get them to do that. And it just makes it a lot harder and more complex for your business. So my advice is is to look at these things before you end up moving and make a decision based on that. I'm telling you things from being here 16, 17 years. I'm giving you a head start. And these are some things that you ought to be looking at. And if you don't believe me, come down here and stay for a while. That's the best way to do it. Get residency down here and just rent, okay? And then you'll see what I'm talking about. Hey, after a while, go to both places. I mean, you don't have to take it from me. Come down here and stay for a while and you'll see what I'm talking about. But folks, if you want to know more on this, you can go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And if you want more videos like this, just hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You'll get new videos automatically. We got just under 1,000 videos. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And I'll look forward to talking to you in the next video. Take care.